Welcome to your Caribbean News and Culture. As you notice, things are a bit different this week. We're on our Culture Chat set versus our news set. But for your dose of Caribbean news this week, check out our Twitter page at YCNC13. But we must give a huge congratulations to Jamaican native Tasan Chin, winner of this season's hit music competition on NBC The Voice. While Jamaicans across the world are undoubtedly celebrating, Tashan's win is gratifying for all the nations of the Caribbean, and we are very proud and excited for her. So, joining us on our Culture Chat this week is you. That's right. This week is just me and you. You know, the production of YCNC has been a long time passion and dream of mine. I tasseled with the thought of starting the show for years, but I finally did it, and here we are, bringing the first season to an end. Roughly 15 episodes taped and aired. We did that, and it's such a rewarding feeling. So what we're going to do this week is take a look back at some of the season's culture chats and some of our best moments. First up, the One Heart Festival and Chris Graham of Lorenz Island Cuisine. This week we're chatting with members of the One Heart Festival, an event dedicated to enhancing peace in the community and making sure that we all stay connected. All right, joining us here in the studio now from the One Heart Festival is founder Chris Graham and Deborah Davis.
Well, at first, it was important because it was, a family member, and that's how it started out, as just a family member and bringing a few people together. But as the years went on, you see that the impact was not just within my family,
right,
but it impacted a lot of different people and had the same situation, tragic, that happened to them. And to bring a community together, not only for, the loss of a loved one, but actually rebuilding the community in the sense of, getting to know your neighbors, getting to know the business within the community, and knowing what can be done to change, a tragedy like losing a family member or anyone losing a family member into something positive.
I saw the One Heart Festival movement as, a vehicle for families to heal from loss, to help them get through the grieving process, and also another vehicle to unite the communities, which I think is very important. One of the things I believe in is that strong families make strong communities. And I see the One Heart Festival as a movement towards being the glue to help those communities and families to heal.
Deborah and myself have bigger plans for Dorchester.
So you guys plan on sharing that with the people who come, or that's something that's in the background and then will be announced at a later date?
I'll say background some, but if she wants to let the cat out the bag, then I'll totally back her.
Just throw her to the wolves.
Yeah, because she's the queen of the pack.
Ding ding, punchline. I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Chris Graham and Deborah Davis of the One Heart Festival for trusting in me and agreeing to be the first guest here on our Culture Chat. That's major. Thank you guys. I will forever love you for that. Next, we continue down memory lane with recaps of some nonprofit organizations dedicated to homelessness, children's education, and guiding young women on a path to success. This week's Culture Chat has to do with a movement, a family movement. Family Movement is an organization that deals with families in homeless shelters, inspiring them to better themselves and become successful upon leaving the shelter. Now, LaKenya, this is your baby. 5 years in the making. Where do you see Family Movement, let's say, 5 years from now?
Oh, 5 years from now, I see us staffed. I see us paid in our own facility, because right now we utilize the space within community centers, and we're so grateful for them opening up their doors for us, and just spreading our network, being more visible in the community, being more open to the needs of the clients so that they're not, once they're in housing, becoming homeless again. So, you know, being resourceful. So just expanding and becoming larger and more, yeah.
Okay, well that's great. And I definitely applaud your efforts because, you know, homelessness is something that doesn't discriminate. You could be Caribbean, white, whatever, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? So I applaud your efforts and I wish Family Movement the best. All right, joining us here live in the studio from Trinidad and Tobago Joint Action Committee is Secretary of the organization, Dimitri Traverso, and the President of the organization, Haynes Monroe. Welcome. Now, the organization is fairly new, but you guys are doing some pretty innovative things. Talk to us about your experience thus far in getting it off the ground and getting things acclimated.
So far, our experiences getting the organization off the ground, it's as Alison stated earlier, that she and Ms. Lorna came together as friends, discussing what they could do to better the country, and through other interested parties like ourselves or individuals, we came, and those who felt the same passion and interest as they did, we are still here, and decided to come together as a body to do something to better the lives of the people of Trinidad, not only Trinidad as a whole, but Caribbean people and also the community.
All right, this week on our Culture Chat, we're going to be speaking about the Sisters at Work Youth Program, also known as the SAW Youth Program. The SAW Youth Program is a nonprofit organization dedicated to leading the youth of Boston off of a path of destruction and onto a path of construction. And joining us this week is the founder and executive director of the program, Mikey Miles. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for being here. Of course, of course. So let's get right into it. What led you to start SAW?
You know, I have a life in construction since '98, and I felt like it was a great thing for me at the time, and I just really wanted to share the experience with some of the females in our community.
Okay. Okay. Now, I'm glad you mentioned some of the females in the community because the program is actually geared towards young women in Boston, not so much males.
Right, exactly.
Talk to us about that selection, why you chose those.
I just feel that there's not a lot of programs that focus on introduction to women in construction, and there's not a lot of programs that service girls 18 and up. So I wanted to service girls 14 to 24, a wide variety, a wide age group, and a variety of young women coming from Boston.
Right.
Underprivileged, underserved. People don't even really know about construction. Or they might think that that's something that they don't want to do.
Right. Especially as a female.
Yes, and it's more than construction as well. It's life skills.
All right, we've got much more straight ahead. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Selena Gomez. Join my Salvation Army online Red Kettle team at onlineredkettle.org/Selena Gomez to help kids and families in need this holiday season. By helping me raise money for the Salvation Army, you could be one of the 8 lucky fans to chat with me during a Google Hangout later this year. Let's get those bells ringing.
Welcome back, everyone. We've reached the point of a full season's production of Your Caribbean News and Culture. So this week, we're taking some time to look back at our culture chats and some of this season's best moments. Up next, we highlight some Caribbean individuals who are making a mark in the print media industry. Take a look. It gives me great pleasure today to chat with the creator of Versed Online, who happens to be a very good friend of mine, Deborah. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Well, Versed Online is an exposure platform for emerging music artists and entrepreneurs. I felt a need to assist entrepreneurs and music artists in getting exposure because I know it's very difficult for emerging artists as well as entrepreneurs to get the recognition that they deserve, even though they're skilled in their area. So I felt the need to really create a platform to showcase their talents, because they're versed in their area. So.
Right. All right, this week on our Culture Chat, we're going to highlight a gem in the publication industry. And it's going to be Gem Magazine. My pun was intended. Gem is a Gem Magazine. Gem Magazine is a publication out of Guyana. However, the guy who started it, his name is Simeon Corbin. He's currently in Guyana. So joining us here this week, we have Miss Coretta Corbin, and you are the managing editor of Gem Magazine, and Mr. Augustus Corbin.
Well, GEM, or Guyana Entertainment Magazine, which is what GEM really means, really started over 10 years ago when Simeon, he went home to Guyana. You know, everyone from the Caribbean, they always go home for Christmas.
Yes.
So he went home to Guyana at Christmas time. And as he was down there, he was having such a great time because there was so much entertainment stuff that was going on in the country. And he noticed that he was having this blast, but the television and other media outlets in Guyana weren't talking about the entertainment that was going on in Guyana. They were focusing more on the negative aspects of Guyanese lifestyle. So he noticed that, and when he returned to Boston, he discussed it with us, what he observed in the television, and he came up with the idea of starting a magazine that covered Guyanese, the lifestyle, the entertainment industry for Guyanese in Guyana and across the diaspora.
Now, clearly, we have some innovative individuals in the Caribbean community. But not only do they dabble into print media, they also knock down doors in the modeling and music industries. Take a look. Joining us live here in the studio now is Keisha Marie. Welcome. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Welcome back to your Caribbean News and Culture, everyone. We've been spending our time chatting with model and actress Keisha Marie, and I couldn't end the show without having her show me a thing or two about the runway. That's what we're about to get into now. So Keisha, show me how it's done. Woo! Nice! All right, let me try. Ready? Welcome back to your Caribbean News and Culture, everyone. Joining us this week in our Culture Chat is none other than Cav Berna. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for being here. Now let's get right into it. Hollywood Music, new album out. Talk to us about it. What's going on the album, all the inspiration. I want to know the tracks that are on there, all the good stuff. Let us know about it.
There's 15 tracks on there. A lot of it is based on my life experiences, trials and tribulations that I went through. You know, I'm basically a reporter for my friends, family, and my hood. So I just you get more of me on this project, and a lot from my culture, how I am, the funny side of me, the serious side of me, and you know the internal conflicts that I go through. So.
Okay.
Hey, it's Selena Gomez. Join my Salvation Army Online Red Kettle team at onlineredkettle.org/Selena Gomez to help kids and families in need this holiday season. By helping me raise money for the Salvation Army, you could be one of the 8 lucky fans to chat with me during a Google Hangout later this year. Let's get those bells ringing.
Welcome back, everyone. As we continue to recap some of this season's Culture Chat moments, we can't do so without highlighting some of the thriving organizations, important circumstances, popular events, and renowned individuals that are compelling forces in Boston's Caribbean community. Let's take a look back. Where do you think this passion comes from, that you give so much of your time and dedication, and a lot of it is on a volunteer basis?
All of it.
All of it's on a volunteer basis. What keeps you going and so invested in enhancing not only Boston's Caribbean community, but Boston's community in general?
Well, I really live by that. I live by that. And in this country, I started working for the city 39 years ago. I've gone through 3 mayors.
Wow.
And I guess this one is the fourth.
Yeah.
You know, and thank God I've had many, many wonderful and meaningful projects within those years.
Absolutely.
And I enjoy what I do.
Right. And
That's
it shows.
the thing.
It shows.
I enjoy what I do.
Mr. Cooper, welcome. How are you?
I am fine, and thank you for having me here this evening.
Absolutely.
I'm delighted to be here.
We appreciate it very much.
Caribbean American People's Action.
People's Action, okay.
But some people refer to it as a political action.
Which kind of makes sense because you guys do a lot when it comes to politics.
It is. Officially founded about 15, 16 years ago, although we were doing political work long before that. A group of Caribbean Americans who felt there was a need or a void to be filled in terms of getting our people closer to the political establishment, felt there was a need to form an organization. Not only that, we were working with other organizations in the past, helping get a lot of candidates elected, and we never got the credit for it. So we said we would not continue in that vein because we felt we were doing so much work, especially on the ground, and other organizations were getting credit for it. So we decided to make it something formal.
To start your own so you can get the recognition you need.
Yeah. There are so many things that we have done and an awful lot still to be done. But our main goal is to one day elect one of our members or elect one of our members' children or grandchildren or somebody from in our community, a person that identifies with the Caribbean, to some elected office here in Massachusetts.
The time I grew up in Dominica, I know there's the elderly people, they used to have groups going in tongue. And that's Roseau, like I said on the CD.
Right.
That they, in my village, we live in the country, but they had to go to tongue and the independence celebration and compete against each other. So they used to, when my parents had to go, they had to take a truck to go in tongue. So they had to wake up in the morning like 4 o'clock. So they would have the cock crow at that time. That's the time they know when to wake up.
That's
to catch the crowd. Yeah.
Anyone from the islands knows that sound of a crow. Welcome back to your Caribbean News and Culture, everyone. Now, as we know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so it's only right that we dedicate our first Culture Chat here at YCNC towards raising awareness about breast cancer. Now, a couple of facts I have for you guys. According to the American Cancer Society, this is 232,000 new cases of invasive breast cancer will be diagnosed this year. 64,000 of non-invasive cases, which means the earlier form of breast cancer, will be diagnosed this year. And about 39,000 women will die from breast cancer this year. So joining us here from Common Square Health Center, we have Eileen Boyle, who is the Chief Technologist over at Common Square Health Center. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Joining us here in the studio from Boston's own Tempo International Rhythm section is Yorick Johnson. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on that.
Now, we have some of the instruments here.
Right,
and we're going to demonstrate to the people what brings all this sound.
Yes,
so let's go from big to small.
Right. This instrument here is, you see, is a small steel drum.
Right.
But you have a bigger size that's 34 inches and a half.
Okay.
And this particular one is called a duduk.
Okay.
And a duduk has 2 notes, a high note and a low.
Before we go to break, I just want to quickly touch on 2 more. We have a lot here, but the 2 that I find really fascinating is a scratcher.
The scratcher.
Which to me looks like a grater.
It's
when you
a grater,
your cheese
right?
on.
Actually, it's a thing, iron you bend and you punk some nails on it, and you use this, and you just scratch that.
And then the cowbell, which is
actually a bell of a cow. Yeah. And the other thing that people are fascinated by is this. This is the actual brick hub of a car.
Oh, wow.
And
so how do you bring sound from that?
For this, you use what you call a striker, and you just hold it like this, and you can beat it like that. Yeah.
So we're gonna head to break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to your Caribbean News and Culture. This week we're going to be chatting with Mr. Carl Smith, who is the manager of Branches Steel Pan Orchestra. Carl, welcome. Nice to have you here.
I'm delighted. Great. Mrs. Eichel.
Thank you very much.
And we have a very proud history to speak about, you know. And as I say, we always say, look to help the young people in the community. Not only Branches, but, you know, kids from the other bands, I have a good relationship with them.
Oh man, what a great season we've had. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I have. It wasn't easy, but looking back makes it clear that it was all worth the while. I want to thank each and every one of my guests who took part in our Culture Chats for Season 1. It would not have been possible without you. And of course, you all, the viewers, thanks so much for being a part of Season 1's journey. And I must absolutely thank my BNN Studio B crew for giving all and bringing my production's visions to life every week. Make sure you tune in to our holiday special and our New Year's special next week, where we'll touch on foods and drinks and traditions for the holidays in the Caribbean. And I will see you all next year, January 10th to be exact, for Season 2 of Your Caribbean News and Culture. I'm Belinda Eichel. Thanks for watching.